Facebook, but I'm working on it. Okay. See you soon.
We are on.
We're on YouTube.
Yes, what's going on, Anna?
What is going on YouTube? What's going on, Roselle, man? Happy holidays and shit.
Happy holidays. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was fine, same old. I didn't do anything.
What? I saw your post about the meow cat or something. Some kind of. I saw someone saying something about it's like a vaginal steamer or something.
Oh, oh my God. Okay, Vallejo, man, I love you, Vallejo. I really don't get it. Okay, so home. I was walking home from the store and I see this sign for like bar something or other.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, bar, new business. And I go over and it says fucking Yoni bar for steaming. Okay, do you know? Okay, now it's my turn to test you. Do you know what Yoni is?
What's yoni?
Pussy.
And it actually says that up there.
No, it said Yoni.
So what's? I mean, what language is that?
Hindu.
And that's what that means.
That is what that means. Mhm.
Wow.
It's across. It's across the street. Okay, it's like four doors down from where you live.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah. So okay,
So explain, what do you actually do there?
vaginal steaming.
What's vaginal steaming?
What it sounds like.
Like, okay, so
Yeah.
no sugar coat to it, huh?
No sugar coats, and it's just um one of these bullshit things of it's supposed to be like some health thing. There is, okay, guys, we're going to have a little conversation here about female anatomy. There is no health benefit to this. The vagina cleans itself. The body cleans itself. Our bodies are very smart. They have like antibodies, and so basically it is a ripoff. And they have a lot of them in LA and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a total quack medical thing.
Wow.
And but I was like, what the fuck? Businesses like the townhouse closed down, like the bar closed down, and this is opening up. And I posted about that on Facebook, and somebody posted like, well, Anna, that it's not an alcohol bar, it's for vaginal steaming. I was like, I know. And okay, I have never seen so many gay men use the word vagina as when I posted that, because it turned into a discussion, because apparently there's one that opened up on Broadway too.
Like, where's Broadway at?
Broadway, the street.
There's a Broadway over here?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they open
It's
up two on the same.
it's where the Jack in the Box is.
I know what you're talking about. On that
Yeah.
corner of Tennessee, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So they opened up two that close to each other.
I know, huh?
They must be making money off of it then.
Or laundering money. I mean,
I didn't think about
they're
that. That's an odd place. I can see now. I could see San Francisco or Berkeley,
Yeah.
but that's weird for Vallejo.
Yeah, and it's also like, okay, man, if I have you know what, if I have the money to pamper myself, I'm getting my nails done, getting a facial, something like that. But if I did want to patronize that place, I
Right.
mean, it's got this, it's right on Georgia Street. It's got a big old sign. I mean, I wouldn't feel, I mean, what if like I'm trying to picture like, okay, like say you're, sometimes I run into you when you're getting home from work. We say, hey, what's up? And you said like, hey, what are you up to? Where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to
Right.
if I was going to do something like that, I certainly would not want to be discussing it. So I don't know, man. Vallejo needs a lot of things, but I don't think it needs that. And I am waiting to see if it is a scam. So, okay, progress. So, how's everything else going?
Well, it's going pretty good. I mean, I don't know.
I can't hear you very well.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
You can hear me better? Okay, I'm on the mic now. That's what I got. I got mine set for the mic so I can play the music. Hold on, let me put the mic up higher. Glad you told me that. Thank you. See, Anna is learning from me now. Now she's backing me up because I'll be sitting here hearing stuff from people and I don't hear it until the end. And now Anna's telling me that's what you're doing it. Thank you, Anna.
Of course.
It makes it sound better, so I know I sound better. But
we're a
I'm doing
team,
good,
man.
I know a lot of people are stressing off of the whole. I guess we went past a purple. We're no longer with the coronavirus, so people are starting to trip.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's restrictive tier again. I mean, the restaurants are still open. I mean, they have there's lots of places open with people eating outside. I mean, what is said is that the most transmission happens from um people having like family gatherings. So, that just sucks. I mean, it's just such terrible business for like, the nail salons, the massage therapists. I mean, people are like totally like suffering around here, but somehow somebody thinks they're going to make some money with a pussy bar. Okay.
Yeah, I think like you said, I think it's I don't know what you want to call it, but I think it's some kind of flop house or something because that's weird.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it is for like, oh, I still can't get this right. I may need, okay. Oh well.
It's also odd. I can't find our stream.
Pardon?
I'm trying to find it on YouTube, the YouTube stream.
It's not up?
Well, we're live, but for some reason I can't pull it up on my phone. It's the weirdest thing ever. But we are on it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how I could stream like I was like, okay, well, could I stream from my phone separately or if
Hold on, we got Lawrence here.
Lawrence. Hey Lawrence, want to come on the show?
I'm gonna add him on.
Yeah. Oh, Lawrence. Oh, Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence. I got another friend named Lawrence.
Oh
No,
no,
I'm
it's Spider.
Spider. Yay.
What's up, Spider?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hold on.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
What's up? I'm here. Yay, fun times.
Oh yeah, it sure is. Yeah, I'm trying to see here if God, the problem is, I mean, people are People are used to seeing me on, okay, yeah, you're showing up live here, Roselle.
Mhm.
Oh, you found it?
Mhm.
I can't
Are you
find
on
it.
YouTube?
Post it to your page.
Are you guys on YouTube?
Yeah,
We're on YouTube. I just can't find the YouTube for some reason. She found it though.
Oh.
because I'm subscribed to you.
Yeah, but that's what's weird though. I can't find my own. It's weird. I don't know if my phone's tripping, but I can't find it. But can you send it to your page?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Oh, cool. There it goes. Perfect.
Yeah, it's just lame because I can't, I just don't like going live right from my phone because the background doesn't show up. My Facebook background. And I don't like people to see my house, but oh, what the hell. So let's get to the show.
Yay. All right, cool. What's up?
Okay. We got some news to get to.
Am I allowed to
So,
on
huh?
camera?
Oh,
Milan.
first, wait. Before we get started, let's introduce my boy Spider,
Yes.
a well-known producer of the Bay Area, Spider Beats.
Yes, we are very, very excited to have
Let's see,
Spider
so
on.
what you up to, Spider?
Nothing. Is it okay if I medicate the camera? Okay. Want to make sure.
It's all
Oh, okay. So, hey, Spider,
cool with it, I
dude,
think.
Spider should have been there for our discussion. Hey, Spider, are you? There's a Yoni bar opening up on Georgia Street.
What's a yoni bar?
He said the same thing I said.
I have no idea what that is. I don't
You know,
I'm not,
okay, I'll give you a guess. It's a real important part of a woman's anatomy. Yoni is Hindu for pussy. So it's like there's this, it's like four doors down from Roselle's place, like with this big sign, Yoni bar steaming. So it's this bullshit thing, money thing for women that don't understand biology and, think that somehow or rather that this is beneficial. But it's kind of baffling to me that the townhouse bar shut down, the legitimate massage places are suffering, the restaurants, nail salons. So yeah, I'm a little baffled about this.
Oh, and that one's still open. So it's more of a like, is this business legitimately like need to be open? Is it a like a styling place? I want to just like, like you style it down there, or is it like a
No, well, it's steam.
Like,
vaginal steaming.
Okay, interesting. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not, maybe it's essential. I don't know. I couldn't.
It's not essential, homie. Bodies clean themselves, basically.
Yeah, of course.
That's called with bacteria and stuff. So,
So then it's like a luxury, kind of like going to like getting your nails done.
Well, I was just saying, yeah, theoretically. See, that's what I think is, I mean, if I had the money, if I have the money to do that for luxuries, yeah, it's going to be like nails done or something. But it's funny that it's right on Georgia Street with this big old sign, because I'm like, I run into Roselle sometimes when I'm walking down the street, and it's like, it's weird, like, hey, what's up?
I can see because it's on a major street. That makes sense. I got what you're saying. Yeah, there's a lot of public. That's those families out there. You don't want to be explaining that to little Jimmy at 10 years old.
Exactly.
I get you.
If I were going to be patronizing someplace,
what's wrong with you, Vallejo?
I want it to be private.
What's wrong with you? Get that on the outskirts, in the cuts.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. One thing solved.
I know. But we're talking about like the restricted tier, and I mean, it's rough. People are
What are the
having
restrictions now? I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah, real restrictive. I mean, there's supposed to be like a curfew, but cops are not enforcing it.
Do
Fortunately,
we even notice if there's a curfew anymore? Because I've gotten so used to it.
I know.
I don't go out after 10 anyways no more.
Well, exactly.
I've been like
I mean,
conditioned or something.
yeah.
That's,
And if
if
people
that's
are,
what they wanted to condition
yeah.
us. No, let me talk about that. I have this theory. Check this out.
No, I don't. No. I don't like I don't like theories about.
Well, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's not, because it's not real. It's my own little thought. So, and I don't think it's true. So I'm just debunking it already. It's not true, but I think it's funny because it makes sense. So Trump is a major like.
We don't talk about Trump here. We talk about everything else. We need to talk about
Okay.
Hungary. We talk about global politics.
I'm sorry. No. I was just making an interesting analogy of the whole idea of COVID, because I feel like we wash our hands and do a lot of these things now, and we didn't do them like a year ago. And at the same time, we've got a guy that's like a total like OCD, like he won't touch anybody's hands. I don't know. I was just
Okay, thank you.
I didn't want to mention him. It was just
We have news from Hungary, and so this is a place that we talk about a lot because the prime minister of Hungary is a racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Viktor Orban.
Isn't that like the last like place of like dictatorship they were saying, like in Eastern Europe? That's like one of the last places where they can't get like this guy out of office.
Basically, right? Yeah.
That's that. Okay, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know my shit. I'm a producer. I'm really in tune with the politics and global
stuff. That is awesome. See, yeah, we talk about real shit here.
Yeah, I'm in tune. I know what's going on.
Yeah. So
about the Iran dude, the guy that the scientist.
No, he's not a scientist. I mean, he's a lunatic. But okay.
Well, you know what I mean. He's an overseer. Whatever that means over there.
So moments before we entered a second coronavirus lockdown on Wednesday, the far-right government signaled its intention to pass a range of new legislation, including to make it harder for opposition political parties to join forces and to change the Constitution to enshrine the defense of so-called Christian values, and it ended legal recognition for transgenders name change. But okay, now we are going to get to the good part. The former Hungarian ambassador to Peru, who's like an official in the government. Okay, wait a minute. Oh shit. Okay, where did this? Okay, so anyway, he was busted in Berlin with in like a sex party of 25 guys. Just now, and this is like a raging homophobe doing this during.
And he was busted for the same stuff that he doesn't like.
Busted. He tried to climb down the drain pipe and injured himself. Like
what happened? Like they actually got caught him and stuff like this.
Yeah, he got caught.
Wow, that's
without fail.
So that's what they call karma.
Yes, it is.
I believe in karma 100%. I believe like when you do bad things happen to you. And usually it's like the same thing that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's bad karma and then there's unfortunate karma. Unfortunate karma is like when you don't perceive things that you're doing as bad and then something bad unfortunately happens to you.
And when you're trying to like get on other people's case for stuff, it generally means that you are trying to deny it in yourself.
And like an American analogy.
Yeah, and another one was just fined for possessing more than 19,000 sexually explicit images of minors. So
this is the president that won't leave.
It's one of his officials. It's not him.
Oh, he's official.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Also a real hateful person. But so my theory is that the next thing that's going to happen is Orban is going to get arrested with a transgender Jewish migrant because
wouldn't that be something?
he's real anti-immigrant. He's fucking racist as hell. We've talked
And
about
he's anti-Semitic then also, I assume.
Pardon?
He's also anti-Semitic then, I would
Yes.
assume. Jew.
Yeah, he's trying to, he says like really hateful things about George Soros and
I don't know if that's, in this world, don't you think that that's like not anti-Semitic in a sense? Like, I'm not saying it. I'm saying like to a conservative, like they have like, there's anti-Semitic and then there's anti-Semitic. That's not really anti-Semitic.
in
if you
some
Soros, come on.
in some cases I might agree with
I
you.
don't care.
It's combined with, it's a lot of things he's said. I
Mhm.
mean, it's a whole picture. Because no, I am not somebody that is about to say somebody's homophobic or
No, I agree. He might be totally.
yeah,
totally.
let me finish what I'm saying. I'm not somebody that's going to say that something's homophobic or anti-Semitic because of one comment. It's a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. I'm sure he is. I'm just saying, in today's America, if you say something about George Soros, apparently it's not anti-Semitic. You know what I mean? Like, we put quotes around that.
Yeah.
Even though it really is, we know it is. But
yeah. I mean, it's just coupled with other stuff. He's shut down and just one of the biggest things. I mean, he's shut down queer studies in the Soros University, and he has like policed what professors can say.
he's a hardliner. That's what they call a hardliner.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we don't like it. Not that we don't
Among
like
other
it.
things, because I don't think being a hardliner necessarily means that. Just being a hardliner doesn't mean that you're homophobic or racist or
No.
anything.
He's extremist. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Ultra.
Yeah, and he's under censure right now he's not getting aid from the European Union because of his xenophobia. So basically he would rather like not do any corona aid because he doesn't want to admit to being a xenophobe. And he
doesn't want to leave office either. So like,
pardon?
He doesn't want to leave office either. So it's not
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like dictators that act that way. I have so many analogies for an American one. You gotta just understand that they don't give a damn about shit. They were not raised to give a damn about shit.
Yeah.
They were born in their belief, this is what their role is, and they'll never leave it. And you can't tell them no. So anything he does, the hungry guy, like just whatever. Sorry, hungry. We love you.
Well,
but
yeah.
sometimes you gotta let them Eastern European countries figure it out, because like Germany, right? When the Berlin Wall, right? Like, I know a lot of them wanted to get across and stuff, but the Eastern Germans, they needed to see the light before they totally like understood the possibility. And that's not a point to Reagan. Sorry, Reagan, you ain't getting all that credit. But
yeah. Well, that's I mean, one of these days we'll look more at that period of history, because I mean it's really, really interesting. And we have talked more about countries in the former Soviet Union, and that's just amazing, because I remember when I was a kid, it was the Soviet Union, and now there's a whole bunch of countries and nations, and so that's just amazing to me. I mean, I remember when that was happening, and yeah, it's just fascinating. Say hello to Leilani. Leilani, hey lady, this is my new friend. Hey, how you doing? One of the conversations I was having with her is about everybody, that people can be given the idea that you're not able or allowed to speak out. And I am huge. I'm like, I need people to know their shit, but yes, speak out. So yeah, we're going to be in touch with that, because those people at the city council meetings need to hear from you. And glad to have you with us.
I feel like, so, I'm in Concord, and I don't want to speak about, like, I'm not speaking negative of Vallejo at all. I love the city of Vallejo.
Say what you want.
I have these, like, I'm a part of the Vallejo safety, or whatever it's called, safety.
Crime and safety.
Yeah, crime and safety thing.
Yeah.
And it seems like I'm always just getting these off the like this shit. I wish it would happen to Concord. It'd be kind of entertaining, but it doesn't. Why in Vallejo do you guys have these
I
interesting
you're
stories?
not
for
you're not
fucking
talking
5
about
hours?
you're not talking about people being pistol whipped and carjacked and
Oh,
beat
there's all
up.
sorts of types. It's like Grand Theft Auto in Vallejo, like all day. Like if you ever played play Grand Theft Auto online and you just like didn't shoot anybody yourself, but just watched all the chaos go around you, I imagine that's kind of like Vallejo after reading your crime and safety shit because there's always some crazy fucking funk or I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know. You're
like
only your
like
way.
we're up to 30 murders this year, including murders from the cops. So
Yeah, what's up? I'm including everybody. I'm just saying it's bonkers. From the dogs running away and shit. What's wrong with your dogs? Can't y'all dogs be in
yeah, yeah.
for real? Roosters
A lot
and
of dogs running away in
yeah.
Vallejo.
Even the animals be misbehaving out there. What is so you gotta let me know.
Seriously. But you know what?
What is Vallejo missing where it does not start attracting sort of like a normal flow of a routine with the people and the community? Because you guys have a beautiful downtown. I love Vallejo. I love the downtown. You guys have an amusement park. The only people that got an amusement park is Anaheim. That's Disneyland. So I mean, you got an amusement park, got downtown.
Well, one of the things
History, a lot of history.
that one of the complaints that about it is that the process to start a small business is really difficult. It one of the complaints about Vallejo.
That's interesting because one of the people that we know had like it was over at your spot, Roselle. H took me there. He had a shop there. And so I don't know.
Now the guy that runs the pinball place.
Are you talking about the place with the record store, the record place?
I think it was either the record place or the skate shop. It was like a skate shop, I think.
But they could DJ, like, could you buy records from there too?
That was another one. That was tight one.
Okay, I don't know the skate shop then.
I know the skate shop. I'm not sure if it's still open, but the record shop shut down, which is very, very sad.
So
Yeah, man, I like that record shop.
I just feel
Record
like you
shop
guys
was
had a lot of cool, unique small businesses. So I didn't know,
Yeah, well, I mean, everything is just like fucking off with COVID. So
Is it the school system too out there? Like, what's up with the kids? What do they do with the schools? They
the
got
school
bans?
system sucks. And that's according to a lot of, I mean, I don't have kids. That's according to a lot of people that a lot of people have a real hard time with Vallejo schools. And so people that are able to move do so. So that means there's even less tax money going into the schools.
That's real.
So yeah.
So Anna, what's the deal with the school that's up there off of Redwood, that real big one? It's like a high school. I don't know what it is, but it's like really big. You drive up Redwood Street. You know what I'm talking about?
Up Redwood?
Yeah, right up Redwood Street.
Like which side of 80?
It's on I'd say the Admiral Callahan side, the side like if you were going to AutoZone.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if you go straight up the hill like you're going towards Columbus Parkway.
Yeah.
There's this, man, I didn't even know this was there, but there's like this high school that's like super big.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I mean, Vallejo has a lot of empty school buildings, and that's one of the problems. And there's a lot of disagreement about charter schools. And I know a whole lot of people I know are really anti-charter schools, but they don't have kids. And for me, I understand all the reasons, but if I had a kid, I want to send them to the best place, basically.
Yeah. So I think with charter schools, you have that's a noble issue. Like everybody wants to send their kid to the best place, but with charter schools, it becomes, because I have kid, and we want to go to charter school. Yeah. It becomes this like race of like, hey, let's like, it becomes like a lottery race, and nobody likes to gamble with their child's, future. Yeah. So when you think of charter schools, you got to remember that like there's only like a certain amount of places available, and those places are gambled off basically in a lottery. and you literally have to sit there on pins and needles for days at times, trying to watch the lady pick balls out to see if your kid gets to go. And it's a really cool for kids that get to go, but it's really disheartening for kids that don't. And that's the problem with charter
Yeah.
schools. It's not like everybody gets to go to charter school. No, not at all. No, there's only a select few seats.
The problem that people I know have is that they say that charter schools take money away from other schools. And that's the logic where for me, if I had a kid, I would to me, that would not be good logic if I had a kid. Because you're going to be.
This is why that is. So every
I know why it is. Yeah.
Use attendance as their basis for how they get paid, right? Every child counts as a certain amount of money per year for the next incoming budget. So if your kid misses a school, like you're basically taking money away from the school.
Yeah.
So
and that is the logic. That is the objection held by a lot of people I know that don't have kids. And so I understand that logic, but if I were a parent looking at sending my kids someplace, I would not necessarily want to look at the abstract in that respect. So
not at all. But I think you would then get to the point where you walked into the meeting and you saw 100 other parents competing for 5 spaces and go, oh, this shit's dumb.
It's rough,
It's like trying to win the lottery. Literally, that's why they call it the lottery, because you are trying to win a lottery. If you played the lottery enough times during the month, you go play Mega Millions and tell me how well it comes out for you, because that's how it is for like 90% of those parents in every grade that's going to charter school. So these charter schools, they exist. They take these certain kids out of the main schools, so that takes the money from the main schools, and then your kid can't go to that charter school because I'm sorry, we're not public. We don't just let kids into our school. It becomes a private school with public school access. And it's not fair to the other public schools that don't have private school exclusion, where they could say, you know what, we want 20 kids in our classroom.
Yeah.
So that's why people are mad. It's not the charter school structure. It's not the hiring of good teachers. It's the way that they exclude other students because they can't expand like a regular school that can take 1,000 kids and have 1,500 with 1,000 seniors.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to get to, we have been following Ethiopia. Yeah, because there's been major practically civil war going on there, and we've been doing this for 3 years. Can you believe it, Roselle? So we've been following Hungary since Abiy Ahmed was elected in 2018. And then he won the Nobel Peace Prize the next year for making peace with Eritrea. He lifted media restrictions. He released political figures. There was a lot of hope for him. But then there was, and see, okay, now this is something that more, I said we were going to get to this when we were talking about Orban keeping power. Ahmed delayed elections because of COVID. So the people in the Tigray region, are rebelling basically. And so Ahmed sent in the artillery, and the TPLF, the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front, had ruled Ethiopia, had been the ones in power for many years. And Ahmed those are the Tigrayan people. Ahmed is Oromo. He was the first Oromo leader elected. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of hope for that. But now what's happening is there's refugees from the Tigrayan area going over the border into Sudan. There's I had the numbers, like 45,000 people. And so they're in refugee camps with no protection from 45,000. Some schools have been set up. I was watching footage of somebody teaching kids there, and I'm like, oh my God. but so I found a better explanation for this. So through his sweeping changes won widespread praise, they have allowed old ethnic and other grievances to surface. And so
Mhm.
some of it's been rolled back, like he allowed more media freedom, but now he's been arresting a bunch of journalists. So the Tigrayans overthrow the Marxist dictators
Mhm.
and were in charge, but now Ahmed is the leader. So the trip is, like in 2019, we thought that there was going to be democracy, but now, like, basically this is they're talking about there being possible ethnic cleansing.
Mhm.
And there's 10 major nationalities within Ethiopia. And so that's just really hard, I mean, we see, we had and here this guy is like postponed elections because of, I mean, COVID's giving people excuses to do a lot of shit. So,
These are all black people.
hmm?
These are all black people. You said nation. There's like 50 different national. What do you say? 50 different
Nationalities.
nationalities. Thank you for the word. They're all black though.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
that's one. Uh-oh. My video has no.
America, we don't unite and stop this colorism shit. We're gonna be just like them niggas.
Oh, no,
51
you don't say that on the show, homie.
I'm sorry. Anna, I'm trying. I'm sorry.
I know, but
I get what you're saying though. Yes. You know what? It's unfortunate that that's happening because in New Zealand at the same time, I'll say some smart shit. At the same time in New Zealand, that the prime minister, right? She stopped like her elections because of COVID, and she asked the opposition if that was cool. And I don't think there was any disagreement with it. It was just because it's COVID. I think they did some news shit, the news is. But I think they ultimately came to the conclusion that they were going to postpone those elections in New Zealand.
yeah. And we're talking about the reason I don't feel that with talking about the federal states in Nigeria. I mean, I feel that like nationality is
Nigeria.
a good way
I thought you said Ethiopia.
to describe it, huh?
You said Nigeria.
Ethiopia.
Okay, because Nigeria does have some shit going on. There's some things going on.
Yeah, it does. So, oh, cool. Thank you, Taylor. Okay, so that is what's happening in Ethiopia. We've been following that very, very closely, and Ahmed is now claiming that he was victorious, but there's a media shutdown. It's hard to figure out what's going on. And the Tigrayan people are like, they're used to, these are some tough people. They're used to, they are used to guerrilla warfare. So this is just really, really sad and disappointing that,
it's very disappointing. And again, I was joking at first, but this is a serious thing. In America, we need to get together. If they're all okay, these are all black people, and I guess in Africa, in the continent, this is the continent of Africa, in the country of Ethiopia. If we can only imagine that, like having a whole country of just black people, and we have other things to worry about, right? That's them, right? They have other divisions. That to me is in itself like a hard thing to grip, because I'm in America where we have this universal thought that we're all together kind of in this, and we have this other people that are the bad guys. In Ethiopia, it's all of them are fighting each other, right? It's hard for me, I guess, as an American to really.
I just said there's like 10 different nations, nations within feudal nations.
But you're talking about black people. Like when you're talking about nations, you're talking about nationalists, right? Or nationalities, and you're not talking about race. Race and nationality are two different things. Like you could be you could be like a Mexican citizen and be black.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if they're all black, right? I think I'm more of a psychologist, social kind of socio, like type of thinker. Like I think on those aspects, and I think it's just interesting in the fact that in America we've concerned ourselves with the opposition as being a different race. And they're all the same race. Who the fuck they gonna get mad at?
Yeah, but
You know?
you do realize that like they're different tribes though, right?
Of course, that's my whole point. I can't
but-
comprehend it. I can, but I can't feel it because that's not what we live in America. How can
But you do kind of understand that's in a sense that's kind of the same way.
Yeah, I understand how like dogs and stuff like communicate with, but I'm not a dog. And I'm not comparing them to dogs. I'm saying don't live that experience. So I can only like empathize from an exterior, like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
they live in a totally different like world.
But in a way I disagree because it's tribal, so it's different. It's not necessarily race.
Yeah.
You come from a different tribe. Just like when they had the hotel, just like they had the Hotel Rwanda. Remember Hotel Rwanda? You saw that, right?
No, I didn't actually. No.
Well, there was two different tribes. There was the Hutu and the Tutsis.
Yes.
Both black people, both African.
I know that there's tribes. You're trying to explain like I don't know like
but the way you came off is you're trying to say that it was different with races as compared to nationalities, when I think in a sense it can kind of work the same way, is what I'm saying.
I get you. Okay. I totally get it. But because I'm so focused on a visual aspect, it would be hard for me to contemplate, like I just jokingly said. How do you know which tribe you're really from?
Because with them, because with them, they could look at a Hutu and say, "Oh, I know that's a Hutu." Even though
that's weird. I
black.
Yeah,
and they knew.
That's crazy,
right?
right?
You wouldn't know the difference. Me and you, because we're here, we wouldn't know the difference, of course. But
no, not at all. And again, that's what I'm saying. I could never put I understand what you're saying, but to me, that whole dichotomy and whole like situation spans on so much things beyond like racial first, and like when because we're so used to it in America. I don't know what could help them out. Like what could help them out beyond like, since if you were to take race out of like politics, I guess in their aspect, how would they like would you
with them, I think it's more tribal. I think you'd have to take out their
and I prefer
tribal.
I tend to use nation or nationality instead of tribal. But yeah, I mean it's interesting.
Yeah, I get you though.
Yeah.
It's political. It's cool. I get it.
They have like, tribes have like rulers too, but some of them, like in Nigeria, they do have.
Lord, I didn't mean it either. I did not mean dogs. Don't start yelling at us.
They do have like states run by tribal leaders in Nigeria. They have like kings in Nigeria.
Another thing we could never contemplate. What the hell? Can you imagine like we're living in a country where there's kings, and then first of all, everybody looks like you, so there ain't nothing to be beefed at really, other than some other shit. You know what I mean? Like you can't look at the next man.
Nigeria has had devastating civil wars. And
it's really bad right
now. They just had like a major, like 45 people killed that were working in a mine, but then the former Nigerian head of state has denied an accusation made by a British MP of stealing half of Nigeria's central bank. But one of the big reasons we like to talk about Nigeria is the return of artifacts. I love that. So the Netherlands have returned a terracotta head to Nigeria, thought to be at least 600 years old, a year after it was intercepted at an airport. See, now that's a trip, okay? Because me and Roselle think that people should get their fucking artifacts back. They're like buried. So many of them are like buried in museums. They're not even being
they're stolen. Because people they were doing excavations and they were out there, and that was back in the day. That's messed up. Totally, I agree.
It's really
artifacts out there in other places of the world keeping our secrets. They don't want anything else. They took all the Egyptian artifacts that were important to us, and I think they're keeping them in the Catholic Church in the Roman.
Well, that's what's said anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
church has all this
I
stuff
don't
they
like theories, but you know,
they
what
won't let anybody see. So I'm gonna send a link to Trika.
cool. So what else is what else?
You want to add her? Do you want to add her to the group to the chat?
I was just gonna send a link, an invite. Add her to the chat on what?
Yeah, you know, you can see. Yeah, send her the link. I see what you mean. Yeah, send her the link and I'll add her.
Okay.
You guys are going on a walk through my house. Oh, no, I got Roselle and Anna on their podcast. They're going through a walk through the house so as I get a.
Hey, hi to
Hey,
Allison.
Spider. Tell
Say
your
hi
wife
to
I said,
Allison
hey,
for me.
how's it going?
Your name's
Huh?
Allison, right?
Tell your wife I said, hey, how's it going?
Isn't your name Allison?
Was it Audrey?
Audrey.
Yeah.
tell her hello.
They said hi. What's up?
Hi.
Hello, Audrey.
I am looking for my beer. Where's my beer at? Oh, okay. We went to the wrong room. All right, let's go this way.
So Taylor, man, Taylor, you got okay. Now I see you're up, Taylor. You got to come on the show next time. Taylor's a professor of television history. Man,
That's tight.
fucking smart.
I
Yeah.
would love to talk to him about U.S. history and how come it's so misunderstood. What's up with that?
Well, yeah, but I know Taylor from this podcast I'm on about this show about Bewitched, the TV show. We have Taylor is so fucking funny, man. I would love to be in your class.
That you watch because my wife likes to binge watch things every once in a while. You know, she likes her series.
Yeah.
What are you watching? The new one or the old one? Is there a new one? I don't know. I'm just asking because
No, there was a film made a couple years. No, the old one, which is just a classic. And so, okay, this is like one of the very few areas that I'm part of where everybody knows more than me, man. There's people on this podcast that have written books about Bewitched. There's
why is it
Professor.
a cult following? Like, give me 3 reasons why it's such a cult following.
It's really funny. And it has a message and the acting is brilliant.
What's the message? I'm interested in that.
Acceptance.
Acceptance of
Not hiding yourself, because it's about Samantha Stevens. It's about a witch, and she marries a mortal, and her family and he doesn't want her to do witchcraft, so she tries to, and then her family hates that she married a mortal and is constantly trying to break them up, and they hide that she's a witch. So it's a really funny show, but there will also be really they will really come on the theme of acceptance, and I think and it's a huge gay thing. I mean, I don't think there's any straight guys on the podcast, basically.
that you mentioned that, not the gay thing, but just in general, the whole show, because like I'm surprised with this much following that it doesn't have it. It sounds like a cool show. It sounds like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So I'm surprised
Sabrina, that's what Sabrina the Teenage Witch is based on.
Oh, it sounds like it. It's totally different.
Yeah. I think that Bewitched ran from 1965 to 1972 or 3, and like it ran for 8 seasons, and the last season they were kind of repeating stuff, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think many sequels are. They tried to do a spin-off with the main character's daughter, which isn't that funny. I don't know. I mean, I never watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Was it good?
I didn't watch it. My wife watches that. Loves that stuff. Yeah, she would probably tell you it was good because she watched it. In fact, I know she liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, like there's shows that okay, like I just watched Lovecraft Country, which I thought was fucking brilliant.
Mhm.
And I don't think there should be a second season because the first season was so good.
Mm. I'm on season 8 of Game of Thrones, and apparently, what I've been told, because I've been late to the game, literally late to the game. Got it. Game of Thrones season 8 is supposed to be the worst thing ever in TV history, so I'm waiting for that to happen to me. Like, well,
I've done that with shows too, where I like come on and watch it after it's been long gone. Then you can just see the whole thing. I was like that with. I mean, I watched The Sopranos after it'd been off for years.
I'm watching that next. I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't? Oh my!
Oh, The Sopranos is bomb,
Wired.
man.
Wired. I missed out on a lot of TV. I used to watch.
Sopranos, The Wire.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch The Wire. I was watching Tom Green at the time. All right, I was watching goofy shit.
I used to watch Tom Green was funny.
Yeah, I was just that's where my head was at that time. Skating videos and Tom Green.
Yeah, I was listening to well, we don't want to ruin it for him. I'm listening to a Sopranos podcast with Steve Sherpa and Michael Imperioli, guys, Bobby Bacala and Christopher. It's so good. Oh man, they have great stories about this. I think I think The Sopranos is just one of the best shows ever.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Good. I'm glad we'll start watching these. I'm on episode 4 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. Of what? Of The Sopranos?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, you should go watch that shit. That shit is dope.
No, that's not really my thing. So okay, see, actually going back to Bewitched and Lovecraft Country, this is why I don't like fantasy that much. And so I like stuff that's real and not real. So I really liked Lovecraft Country because it was real and fantasy. And Bewitched is like that too. I mean, even though it's in the 60s, 70s, sort of like it's part of the joke is just that they're this totally like suburban perfect couple, but they have this secret. And so when Bewitched does this stuff sometimes where they go see Santa Claus or they go back in time, and then it just kind of gets to be too fantasy for me. So that's why I don't like stuff like Game of Thrones.
I got you. No, that makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So, Roselle, what do you watch?
You know what? Lately, I haven't been really watching too much of anything but football.
Football. You watch the Raiders lose.
Yeah, very funny, dude. Yeah, we watched them lose. Yeah,
That was a sad loss. I'm sorry. That was a terrible.
it was a terrible loss, dude. I hate that game.
Why did you let that team?
I don't, dude. You tell me. I don't do that. That did not make any sense.
Derek Carr, number 4.
I don't know. I can't blame. I don't know why everybody keeps blaming Derek Carr.
Because he's not not that good under pressure at all. You see
that it really had nothing to do with him though.
Out of the pocket, he stays in there too long. Does not scramble. He's not a scramble quarterback.
You do realize that like 2 or 3 of his best linemen aren't even there.
I know they're not. His line
they're
is
out. So that was one of the issues too. It was the defense. It really had nothing as much to do with the offense as it did with the defense.
How many points did they score? What are you talking?
But the thing was, if a team is able to score 40 points and you only can score like 6 or 16 points or whatever they scored,
you said 6
defense is bad.
It's that's a 10-point difference. That's not what happened. They not score 16. They scored 6. Let's get it right.
Well, whatever, dude. It is what it is. The point is, it has. You can't blame Carr for the bad defense, dude. Everybody tries to blame Carr, but you can't blame Carr. The defense has to step up better than that.
Oh man. Okay, Anna, what's up? What else do we have on the Global Hour?
Okay. Well, this is about DNA. Okay. So I was reading an article about a Native American scientist who's studying heart disease. And in 2002, the Navajo Nation instituted a tribal-wide moratorium on genetic research because they had experienced, kind of like Henrietta Lacks, having people came and like took their samples of their DNA, and then people could just, they do that, they get like tissue samples, and then just any old scientist can just come do whatever research they want on it. So, you know, so that was,
and they're getting mad. Do
pardon?
the Navajos have a law against anybody sending anything to like those heritage, ancestry.com? Do they take any issue with that? Because that's like the same thing.
Well, not really. I mean, anybody, because like if you do something like 23andMe, then that's kind of like you as an individual, like, oh, I want to do this and like send it off and get it back. But they were talking about giving samples for a scientific study that was supposed to be helping them and just used for this purpose. Whereas what happened was the university or whatever just kept the tissue. So scientists have been able to request it to do DNA research on other things.
Oh, I got you. Without their permission.
Yeah. And kind of like with Henrietta Lacks, she was a Black woman who died of cervical cancer in the 1950s, and her cell samples were used by scientists for all sorts of research, and continue to be. And her family never got any compensation or anything. And I think it was for them. I mean, it wasn't even just the compensation. It was like, this is our relative. We did not consent for her tissue samples to be used that way. So it's kind of similar. And, people want to do genetic research sometimes on like isolated communities. Like people also do genetic research on the Amish, but so far as I know, there has not been, they don't like put it out for any old scientist just to come take. Go figure. And so one of the things that was interesting was people claim to be doing this for health reasons, to be able to track illnesses and stuff. But it's one of the things that this particular scientist believed is that when you do that, you're taking away the reasons that people have diabetes and heart disease and high blood pressure and all of that will have a lot more to do with poverty than genetics, with poverty and danger and stress. I mean, you look at like people living.
But at the same time, if you're removing things, so so you're asking an albino about this, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. I had this personal thought in my head a couple of days ago, actually, about this. I heard about the DNA, these two scientists that were given a prize. It was a Nobel Peace Prize for them, like changing the being able to like take out things of DNA and strip them with like these look like shoestrings.
Yeah.
But like a duo that like for the first time, I think it was like prize handed out to them. Anyways, they were talking about taking out the bad genetics out of things. And here I am as an albino thinking, what would it be like if we grew up a generation from now and this was a normal thing to remove the gene that creates albinism? Wouldn't it be interesting if I was one of the last albinos on Earth? And I was thinking about that.
Do you say that I noticed, or do you say, do you say I'm an albino or I have albinism?
Well, either way, it's the same thing because that's just the way that the world thinks of it. So, I mean,
it's not how I think of it, but
no, but that's, generic, that's a nice thing. Thank you, Anna, for saying that, because that means that you have a lot of respect for a person's humanity as opposed to a label, which is very cool. I understand that. Thank you. I wasn't using it. I was doing the generic thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
probably because not many people understand that. Like you can say somebody's a dwarf, or you can say they have dwarfism. It's very different.
I totally get what you mean. 100%, which is cool. It's very noble. But what I was thinking though is like, interesting enough, now that we thought that it was genetics, how would it impact my life And would I be comfortable being albino, thinking that there would never be another albino like me? And I'll be honest with you, that idea it's got its perks, not for me in itself, but just for the idea of humanity. Like albinism is not necessarily like I don't want to say it's not a positive thing, but it's not a beneficiary thing. So you're not benefiting by being albino. Definitely not. The sun is your worst enemy. And we live with the sun like half of our day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and vision also. So it's just traits like that where you say, would humanity benefit best if we did have genetic alterations? Because then we wouldn't have to worry about those things. And then you think about it in a more moral sense, like, but as humans, we have to learn how to empathize, I guess, or how to think like you just thought, where we're people and we have, maybe there's something that we are dealing with, right? Like you can't see an alcoholic, like alcohol, you can't tell, right? So maybe as human beings, we need albinism here. We need cerebral palsy. We need things that we need to address so we know how to be more humane to the less of us.
Have you like, how would you feel about like being part of scientific research and all that, or have you?
I've never been a part of it, but if they paid me well, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I was the one that was joking to the Africans. I said, Africa, look, y'all want some y'all want some albino parts? I got some dreadlocks.
Well,
I got some toenails. I got
people with albinism face major discrimination in African countries. Discrimination and
that was one major subject that I was really about deeply, is about the Tanzania. Children with albinism there and the different orphanages that they were creating. So that's important to me. So I got thoughts, man. I don't be just smoking all day. Fuck.
I knew you'd be interested in this DNA thing. Well, I work in the I've like done a lot of research on the deaf community, and that's an issue too. I mean, there's people that don't want cochlear implants. There's people that don't want, or there's people that like deaf parents and they don't want genetic counseling or whatever. They don't want to give their kids cochlear implants or something, because they're saying, their attitude is like, well, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to be fixed.
So I also have been teaching with students that are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And so they also have like this thing, some of my students have expressed to me about how there's like groups like Autism Speaks, where sort of like universalizing like the idea of autism, where it's sort of like, you're one way and through these steps, you can be this way. And they go, well, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to take your 10-step program to change because there's nothing wrong with me. And so I can understand those arguments. I get that. For all aspects, some people do feel innately like there's nothing really wrong with the way I am. If you're deaf, you're born deaf. My friend is blind. One of my friends is totally blind, born blind, and he sees nothing wrong with him. I don't see anything wrong with him. He gets it wrong fine. The world is not equipped for him.
Yeah.
And we need to learn how to do that. That's why we need albinos, blind people that are deaf, so we as humans can learn how to be human.
Yeah.
Because you lose that sense if you lose everybody's normal. It's like that whole thing in Ethiopia. There's no race, so that means that you don't have that aspect, I guess, is what I'm saying. You can't empathize about that, can't think about that, doesn't come to your thought. I don't know if I want to live in a world where we lack empathy for things.
Well, yeah, that's really interesting to me. But one of the things that when I learned more about cochlear implants, specifically, for a lot of people, it's not just like, it's not comfortable. It's not like you put it on and you can hear.
What is it? What is that? I don't understand.
Oh, that's something that makes people hear, but it's more complicated than that. It's like you probably see people with like a little metal thing and but it's not like you don't just put it in and be able to hear, basically. It is more complicated than that. But, there's people for whom it's made a really big difference, who really like having it.
I think personal, like keeping it where if you want to do it, like if a doctor was out there and he said, hey man, here, you could take a shot and you could be like, you got brown skin.
Yeah.
maybe I might want to do that. Maybe I might. I probably most likely would, because
Yeah.
not that I don't like being albino, but there is a certain aspect of having a normal life. Like when I
Yeah.
say normal, like where you are like everyone else, that I have not experienced yet. That would be interesting. That's personal, but I don't want the world to have to change, because we
Yeah.
need, again, empathy. We need empathy. You wouldn't be empathizing with other lesser if you didn't have that. Everybody was Superman. Imagine if all the superheroes had the same superpowers,
Yeah.
right? Who would be the leader? Who would be, I don't know. I got a million analogies.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. This is fun.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. See, I think for me personally, DNA stuff is creepy. I mean, because I feel like I know my family, I love my family, but I want the world to be my family. I am not more bonded to somebody because there's like my second cousin or whatever. So for me, it bugs me and I would never do it. People have very different personal reasons for wanting to do that. And I would never judge somebody else, but I found out like my dad was getting emails from somebody that was like related to him, who was like researching his family back to the 19th century. And the guy had like a list of all these names. And I was like, he better not contact me, man. Cause I'm like, I don't know you. I don't care about you. And so my dad, like, he was emailing my dad, and my dad like wrote to him, was like, okay, please stop contacting me. I'm not interested in this. But I mean, I guess, and I haven't sent my information to anything, but the guy had like the names of my whole family and stuff. Cause I would just be like, I don't want to talk to you, man. I mean, why don't we share DNA and that's it. And so, yeah, but related. Okay. This is somewhat related. We're going to pop over to Iran. A leading nuclear scientist was assassinated. And did you see that?
I said that to you guys earlier. That's what I was talking about. The Iranian guy.
Okay. Well, now so now we have some more details. He was in a convoy of three cars, but there was like 60 people involved in this assassination. They like surrounded, there were all these like people on the ground working on it, and they shut down the electricity in the area.
Yeah, it was Call of Duty. They had a remote control car, Roselle.
Yeah.
Okay, remember Call of Duty, the airplane?
Yep, I remember it.
Yeah.
Okay, they had this. I think that was the same shit. They had a remote control car.
Well, they had a lot more. They had a lot more than that. But
no, I think that's what they killed him. They said a remote control car was there, and they shot him. So like, straight like from the first level of Call of Duty. Drive it underneath the other vehicle and blow it up.
This guy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, okay. So the speculation is that it was the Mossad, the Israelis, and that is one of the major disagreements that many people have with the Mossad. Okay, because the Mossad, it was like they're the spy group. Like theoretically, they are supposed to just be keeping an eye on things. They are not supposed to be.
I've never heard of them before.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, they are. What's kind of a good show is The Spy on Netflix. It's about Eli Cohen, who was a major Israeli spy who's considered a real hero.
Like a CIA group.
Basically. But some of them, they're just, so they're considered. Pardon?
No, it's a video game joke. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So the question is, okay, why did that happen now?
Yeah.
And the belief is that it has to do with the administration change in the US, because
you didn't say his name.
Huh? Yeah, I know. Okay, we don't. You know, Trump and Israel are great buddies.
Yeah, Netanyahu, that's Bibi. That's his buddy.
Bibi, yeah. And Bibi knows Jared, little punk. I hate Jared. And
A mean person, you know that he is quite a very nasty guy. He's a very much racist too. Sorry, Bibi.
yeah, seriously. So that's the belief for why this was happening now, to throw some wrenches in before Biden gets in there.
Oh, of course. And nobody would do anything about it. Pompeo's not out there like, you know,
visiting fucking settlements.
Come on now, you know this is exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
This is what did the Emperor say when the stormtroopers started killing Jedi? Order 86. He said initiate Order 86, and they killed that boy. They killed him because it's over. He's gonna do a lot of crazy stuff before his time.
True. It is true. And so we've also been following some of the okay, there was a prisoner swap in Iran for a woman, a professor that has dual Australian British citizenship, and so she was in a Iranian jail for like 2 years. She went there. Okay, the lady, she's a professor of Islamic studies. She speaks like Arabic, Farsi, Persian. You know, she was there for a conference and then was detained when she was leaving. It's just like, fuck, these are like exactly the people you want to not be locked up. I mean, these are the people that can really try and help and do communication. So
I have something for you on that. Hold on. I watched yesterday on Netflix a documentary about that dude that got locked up in North Korea that came out in a coma.
Yeah, Otto Warmbier. Did you know what his crime was and what the hell? Yeah, he took down a poster.
Not only that, there's a floor in that hotel that you're not supposed to go in. And it's strictly for the security. And this is like a little game that these people that would come over to that country would play. They go to this hotel and let's go up the 5th floor and see if it's really like crazy North Korea. And they got caught up. Now, I'm sorry if you didn't learn as an American not to do dumb shit.
Well, yeah, so that's a real difference. So to me, like stuff, like it's terrible. Yeah. It's a tragedy, but
it's a very tragedy, but it's a dumb tragedy because you know what? On top of going to the 5th floor, and they said, you know, we normally just let these dumbass Americans go. He ripped off a poster on their wall. I don't know anybody that would let somebody in their country do that and not put them in jail. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So here, but then then here you have somebody.
Look at this. Let's get them out.
Yeah. So you have somebody like so her name is Kaylee Moore Gilbert. So you have somebody like that who's like a great asset. Yeah. So what they did was the Australian government struck a deal with Thailand to exchange 3 Iranian prisoners that are in Thailand for Kaylee Moore Gilbert.
Thing to do. Good for them.
Yeah. So this was I watched a video of the exchange, and so she didn't even necessarily know what was happening. I mean, so she was just sitting there, just looking like terrified. But
we've all seen those movies.
Part of the problem, she's married to an Israeli, so that was another reason why people were suspicious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then listen to this. This is what. So she's on the plane going home, and she said, "Okay, this is from Professor Moore Gilbert. I have nothing but respect, love, and admiration for the great nation of Iran and its warm-hearted, generous, and brave people. I came to Iran as a friend and with friendly intentions, and depart Iran with those sentiments not only still intact but strengthened."
And so she's on the plane saying this?
Yeah, that was.
And she don't want the plane to turn around. She's like, they're like,
I'm like, whoa, that's badass, man. I mean,
that was a letter. Yeah,
that is a brave lady. I mean,
they told her ass. They said, if you don't like that letter, I'm gonna turn this plane around. Every black parent, their kid knows that word. I'm gonna turn this motherfucker around. You know.
No, it was an Australian plane. But
I don't know.
meanwhile,
They might have some ties. Like, you might want to just write that letter before we have to take your ass back.
Hey,
It's in the.
um,
I'm just a joke, Anna. You have to understand. 99% of the shit I say is
I
in.
know. I know.
Mhm.
I just also had partially like the ADHD when I lose my thought because they also have, unfortunately for everybody that's not from Australia, not everybody's as cool as Australians. Australians are fucking cool. Iran has dismissed an appeal by Sweden
My wife
for
loves.
to not enforce a death sentence given to a doctor amid reports that his execution is imminent. And so I was listening, I was listening to some interviews from the families of prisoners who are British, and they're kind of like, fuck, why can't our government do this too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's rough. I mean, I certainly understand the logic of, if they do that, they'll just do this again. But it's not like, see, I just think like whenever like the family members of journalists and adventurers, when they start getting on TV expecting the government to bail their dumb kids out, I'm like, no, man, no, the government should not be exchanging fucking prisoners for your for your relatives that crossed lines illegally. So
No, not at all. I think that's, yeah, of course. Again, Ottoman. Why you?
Yeah.
Posters. When I saw that, all I could think of is, man, I never knew that in mainstream media, especially the people that were propping up, because he was a Trump guy, right? His parents were big Trump supporters. They went and pleaded to Trump. They never told you that this dude was on some like high security floor ripping off posters. And that's
I knew he was in a hotel ripping off posters.
No, that's all we knew. He was in the hotel and he ripped off the poster. That's not what it was. He went to a floor that was exclusive away from the hotel. It's called 4-5. And it was like, it even said on the elevator, it was scratched out, like, you don't go to this floor. And the prank was Americans would go to that hotel, go on that floor, run around, and the security guards would watch them do it. And they go, fuck it, we'll just leave them alone. Fuck it, they're idiots. Because they didn't do anything other than just run around and, wow, this is crazy. It's a high security room, right? It looked like some shit like you would see in a dictatorship, like a room with video cameras and, looked like a real security room. So this dude, he didn't just do that. They had posters of the leader on the walls and stuff, like they do. They have their propaganda. He wanted to tear down one of their biggest posters, roll that motherfucker up, and he was gonna take it home.
Yeah.
That's super disrespectful.
This is cool. This is something. Okay, I totally got Roselle another time with a name. Okay, this is Carrots received an annual Blue Cross medal. A blind therapy cat has been awarded the annual Blue Cross medal after he helped keep spirits high at a hospice during lockdown. Carrots is a 4-year-old tabby, and he helped bring relief and joy to those people at the hospice dealing with anxiety and depression. Isn't that awesome?
How kind.
Yeah.
She's not a tabby.
Congratulations, Carrots. See, we had this other one where we were talking about, like, they gave like medals to rats.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. There was a rat. Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. There was a rat that got a medal for clearing landmines.
Really? For clearing landmines?
Yeah. Yeah. The rat was trained to detect landmines.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Metal, dude.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's noble though, because rats, like, I mean, I don't know if the rat understands that he got a thing, Does he really understand he got a medal?
I don't know. Maybe he got some extra cheese too.
You the rat, you understand you a superstar, buddy. Get the
I think it's a good message.
Pour him a cup. Give him some cheese.
Okay.
Sorry.
So here's more stuff about archaeology. So archaeologists work in colonial Williamsburg to unearth what life was like for the original congregants of one of the oldest Black congregations in the country have uncovered graves, one and possibly two graves, and more than 12,000 artifacts. So there's like a graveyard underneath the church was built on top of another church.
Is this in
And-
America?
Huh?
This is in America.
Yeah, this is in Williamsburg in Virginia.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
The first Baptist meeting house was built in 1818, and then another church was like built on top of it. So that's really interesting.
So they dug all this stuff up and they tried to it told them how life was like back in the day.
Well, yeah, but you know, they don't, like, you could find well, I'm an archivist, you could find records of things, and you could find DNA, you know, I mean, there's people that are interested in DNA with stuff like that. But I mean, archaeology is so interesting. We just talked like last time about how 100 coffins were just found in Egypt. I mean, it's unbelievable. People have been digging there for 150 years, and they're still finding stuff.
Can you imagine being the one to find like all the like shit the slave master did to the Black people and being like the first one to find it? Like you find some nigga like all fucked up, like twisted left and right and shit. And you're like, oh shit, his bones all chewed up. Damn. You like every time you look at this shit, you like, that's not I don't know if I want to go on that dig. That doesn't sound like digging for dinosaurs. That's not.
That's almost as bad as watching. It's almost as bad as watching Rosewood, man. I wouldn't want to see all that.
Do you watch slave movies?
Yes.
I don't watch slave movies anymore. I can't stand them.
Ooh.
I'm not being racist. I'm not being negative. It makes me too mad.
I agree on that.
It's not a necessity for me to get mad at this point in my age. When I was 30, I could watch like, you know, the movies and just fuck this shit. I'm ready. Now I can feel my heart. You know? No, the movies, they're not good for your health. And seriously, like aside from a teachable moment for us as Black people, we know what happened. And it's sort of like, well, let's watch it again. Let's watch it in real time. You can't do shit about it. Just sit there and watch. No!
It can be like perpetuating trauma.
It can. That's what I really believe it does. When you're at the age I am and you see that and you know you can't do anything to change what has happened and you are like of a mindset where you're clear-headed, it does something to you. I can't watch those movies anymore. I don't care to bask in them. I know what happened. It was terrible. I totally agree 100%. But I will not sit there for 2 hours and watch people like get eaten by dogs. I won't watch missing kid movies either. You like where the kid's missing. Like there's this new movie that's out that's like so horrendous. Like the director had to come out and talk about how bad it was. It's like a trending thing. It's not even new. It's like from 2011, but it's trending now because everybody ain't got shit to do, so they watch it.
I want missing kids movies.
Yeah, I don't watch.
I don't watch cancer movies. I don't watch violence against women movies. I mean,
no, I don't really. Some movies are fun, and those kind of movies are not. There's just certain lines you got to draw. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Like Lovecraft Country does show some really, it does have some very brutal. It shows the Tulsa massacre. It has some brutal scenes.
Yeah, I can't watch that shit. Like I can't remember what it was that showed that for a snippet. It was a new movie that came out, and it was like showing the Oklahoma massacre at first. I was like, oh.
Well, there was an HBO show that was showing it.
Maybe that's what it was. And I was like, why am I watching this right now? And it's not like I don't understand the history. That's what makes it even worse. I totally know the history, and it makes me sad visually have to see it. It's nothing new to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want to see a movie about 1619. Bacon's Rebellion. That would be a cool movie. Let's do a unity movie about Bacon's Rebellion where you get a whole bunch of
rebellion.
Yeah.
What is Bacon's Rebellion?
Oh man, see, this is what happens in history. Like nobody talks about the most important aspect of American. history when the poor people got together and overthrew the government. Not overthrew them, but burnt their shit. This is kind of put on in Pocahontas. If you watch Pocahontas, they kind of touch on this. But Nate's or Bacon's Rebellion was about this dude that lived on the outskirts of Virginia, and he didn't like where he lived and shit. So he got a bunch of these indentured servants that had the land near him to like gather together and like go to the governor and talk about like, you know, why won't you do anything about these Indians that keep coming around and killing us? Like, and the Virginia governor would be like, well, you know what? I ain't doing shit because y'all live way out there. Enjoy. Like, we cool. We just protecting Jamestown. We're good. So Nate was like, well, fuck it. You know what? We're going to get our little crew together and we're going to kill all these Indians. And the governor was like,
Nat Turner?
Nate Bacon.
Nate
Nathan
Bacon? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not Nat Turner. Yeah.
So,
Nate,
yeah,
yeah.
this is how this is how racial slavery became racial slavery. So Nate Bacon was working with indentured servants and former slaves, because back then, eventually you might be able to, like, if you became a Christian, you could get out of slavery. If you became a Christian, remember this, if you became a Christian, you could get out of slavery because you could not enslave a Christian back then. So they became indentured servants and then they did their time and left. They joined up with Nate Bacon out in the outskirts because they were mad that this Virginia governor wouldn't help them kill the Indians, because the Virginia governor was cool with the Indians. So these guys banded together, killed a bunch of Indians around the area, black, white people, poor people, basically the Appalachian area. They killed all these Indians, and the Virginia governor was like, hey, y'all need to stop doing that shit. Stop. And Nate was like, nah, fuck you. You know what? We coming to your city and we gonna burn that shit down. That's when Jamestown was burnt down. Them people burned Jamestown down. And the governor of Virginia was like, okay, we gotta figure out how to stop all of these like uprisings with this guy and his crazy band of black and white people, indentured servants and former slaves. So they years later come up with this thing called the slave codes. Well, that came after, but they started coming up with these ideas of how to racially separate these groups. And what they would do is they said, we're going to stop using indentured servants first, because if we use indentured servants over slaves, then they both had the same experience. So if we stop using indentured servants and only get slaves that are non-Christian from Africa, because Africa didn't have any Christians, think about it. That's why they went to Africa. If we only use the niggas, then the niggas would be mad. The white people will have some kind of superiority, and they won't band together because they won't have anything in common, because the slaves will always be slaves. So that turned into slave codes. That turned into racial slavery.
Okay.
Yes, Nate Bacon. That needs to be a movie. That's a great movie.
Yeah, that would be a great
One
movie.
time the poor people got together and the government shut them down. First time it happened. And that was before those people in Virginia ended up being the same like descendants of the people that did the American Revolution. So they've had a deep history. Yeah. So they created slavery in a racial aspects. People don't understand. Slavery was not racial until it landed in America in 1620 to 1675. It was not racial. It was just niggas is not Christian. Therefore, they can be slaves. If you are Christian and you wanted to come to America and you didn't have money, you were an indentured servant. You paid your time, got on that boat. When you got here, you had 7 years. When you were done, you got a little piece of land way out in the outskirts where the Appalachian area is, where all the Indians were killing you, and you could be in America. But that was for Christian people. We have to remember that, because the 1400s, when they were doing that crazy Spanish Inquisition, that preceded everything that happened to lead up to racial-based slavery. And we forget that era. And it's really, I don't know. We Africans sell Africans. Africans sold non-Christians.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's what, it's awesome. I mean, that's kind of why I have stuff like this show, because we just got to keep talking and keep learning, because there's just so much in the world. And
there's a lot.
I had a shitty education personally, but I always read a lot. But I'm catching up on stuff all the time.
The funny thing is, when I was in high school and I was going to these nice white high schools, they actually put that stuff in the book by accident. So I was in these nice schools reading about Bacon's Rebellion and how the poor people all banded together and they burnt Jamestown down. They didn't go to the details, but they at least gave you a little bit of what happened.
Yeah.
And then talk about slave codes. They like jumped the gun. Then we had slave codes, and the slaves were all like told that they can be they're a different people. So,
Uh-oh, Trika's in the house.
what's
Hey,
up?
Trika. How you doing? Welcome.
Hi.
Look at you with your hair. You
All right, help at work. And howdy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank you. It's usually tame. Yes. What y'all up to? What we talking about?
Whoa. Well, we've been talking about slave codes, and we're okay. Here's like a little bit of history. History. Sort of, I was looking at something that's one of these examples of how stuff isn't so long ago. Okay, because like the 10th president's grandson is still alive. Zachary Taylor was like born in 1790, but then he fathered a kid when he was 70, and then his son fathered a kid when he was like 70. So that guy is still alive, and there's still somebody alive who is the son of a man who was born enslaved. I mean, this is all just so recent. And there was a woman who received her father's Civil War pension until her death in May this year. I mean,
check this out. This is a fun fact I was reading today. So Truman, okay, first off, Trump is the 45th president, right? Biden's going to be the 46th president. Truman is the 36th president, okay? That's 10 presidents, like 10 numbers, right? That's not that much. Did you know that during Truman's era, we integrated the police and the army and the military? Like that's when we actually had integration of that he started that shit?
Yeah.
That's 10 presidents ago.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. I mean, so the 20th.
Like,
Hang on one sec, you guys. I'll be right back.
That's half the presidents right there. It's not a long time ago. So I don't know. Yeah.
I think that's why I think it's kind of offensive when people say, "Oh, just get over slavery." Like, do you know how close that was just a couple decades ago? Like, you get over. They act like it happened millions of years ago, like it was an ancient civilization. No, this is the same civilization that did that.
Yeah, like he was with the dinosaurs when that shit was happening.
Right. Like nobody was really hurt. Like nobody knows what happened. Like you've got ancestors that are still alive that know what was going on back then, that were there. So.
And the worst part is when they go, well, what about the Israelis? They had it the worst. Those Egyptians were so mean. Like, how can you go way back there to find your example, but you don't understand what happened a couple fucking centuries ago? You want to go back
present moment, like right now. You don't know what's going on right now.
And you want to. That's your example. That's you. I hope there's some Republicans watching. I'm talking to you.
Maybe. You never. Oh man. Hey, Roselle's got more conservative people. Has got conservative people on his timeline.
I can't tell with conservatives because I'm not that one to be that. Well, first off, they take me for being non-intelligent because they just have this like visual look, right? And then I hit them with the 1-2, and they have to back off for a minute. Like like what happened in that. I'm not gonna say something. I won't use that example. I'm not gonna use the boxing fight. I'm not gonna use the fight. But that's what happens. And then it comes with the fury, and they just have to just get knocked out. So if they want it, Roselle, let's do it. Let's bring them on Duck Soup. We'll do it.
All right, hey, it's up
Bring
to
who
you.
on?
We can do it. We can
Bring
do it.
them on.
Bring some conservatives. I'm with that. That'd be interesting.
I try. I talk to conservatives. I mean, I'm always like, whenever I hear somebody's going like, I was in Atlanta somewhere, somebody's like, oh yeah, there's all these gay people around. And I'm like, yeah, hi, you want to talk to me? I mean, I talk to people any chance I get,
I mean, and just because I don't feel the same way as them, I don't, stop myself from having conversations with them. Because some things we do kind of see eye to eye on, but we just not listening to each other.
Exactly.
We're not getting each other's perspective. But for the most part, I mean, if we're going to battle, we can battle because that's what I love to do. That's what I engage in.
Let's
One of the
go.
things we talk a lot about diplomacy here, because that's one of my big interests in global politics. So, so I really try and be that way with people.
No, but debate comes with diplomacy. Like you can't have diplomacy without debate. So
Yes.
Actually not. Diplomacy is finding things to agree about, and debate is the opposite of diplomacy.
because you're saying, well, we don't agree on this, so what can we come together with?
Like a compromise.
Debate is trying to get the other person to agree with you. It's trying to get the other person to change their mind. Diplomacy is finding things to agree about. This is my field, homie.
I don't think so. I don't think debate is about making another.
Well, like I said, okay, well, you can disagree, but this is my field.
Of course.
So, yeah.
We're debating right now.
That's the example right there. Well, we don't, I mean, we certainly agree on the important, but no, I don't debate people at all. I refuse to. I think it's like, I don't think it gets anywhere.
You know what's funny is I found like the word debate in what was I saying? I had this written down and I wrote it in a Facebook post that a disagreement and a debate are not disagreement. I can't remember. I'm too high. But it was an important thing, and it was the conjugation, the idea that debate is lesser of a thing than saying your argument and debate. That's what it is. There's a difference between having an argument with somebody and just having a discussion and debate, right? Like,
sure. I mean, yeah.
Literally like mad and trying to prove your point and get another person to say, okay, fine, I agree. That's an argument because that's the purpose of arguing. You're not doing it other than to say, you agree? You agree, right? You agree? Where a debate is like presenting your case and saying, this is what my information is. What do you say? Okay, that's your information. Okay.
Yeah, that's a way to look at it. So, Drake, if you don't mind, I'm so excited to have you on the show. And if you don't mind, can you tell me? I'm interested in what your inspirations are.
Inspirations.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I inspire just to be great. And with that, I know it sounds really cliche, but I'm all about history.
Yeah.
And I just think that the older I got, the more I realized that a lot of the stuff that I learned wasn't true. And so now my inspiration is seeking truth.
Yeah.
Seeking truth for myself, my family. I know I got a lot of things. I'm breaking generational curses right now, just to live and be free, like to be yourself. That's my inspiration, just to get out this box.
So were there books or films that were really enlightening to you?
Well, I'm a real documentary type of person.
I love documentaries. Yeah.
So I'm always watching stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of it doesn't necessarily have to do with slavery, but it's funny how it all kind of ties into just evilness to me,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be hard for us to repair that. But my thing is like, I want to find ways to start to try to make that happen within reaching out to the community and teaching youth and teaching children the truth.
Yeah.
And letting them know you don't have to follow a certain system to be successful. Success is measured by your own standards. And I don't know, I'm getting more into my spiritual stuff right now. So it's inspired me to make more music and, do things that it doesn't really make it it's not a color line thing. It's a universal unity collective thing. Like, create ways that we can all learn from each other and not just debate.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they try to teach slavery in school to these kids? Like on the real
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you grow up and then you like, damn, I don't remember this chapter. Like they didn't.
I'm already telling you they couldn't do it because look, you imagine yourself in elementary school, 6th grade, and the teacher sits you down with all the other 30 kids in the classroom. Half of them is Caucasian. half quarter of them is Mexican, and then there's some black kids in the back. Now, can you imagine a teacher trying to just sit there and say, okay, this is what happened? And like being real as real can be. Like the movie's real. Those kids would be mad at each other. That's a psychological reality. Those kids would not get along in a social
There's
aspect.
there's more reality taught now than when I was a kid.
They're gonna learn it, yeah. But,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying why
They
I'm telling
skim
you why
over it.
I've been so far. When we were
Yeah.
younger,
They don't teach you at a young age, because at that age you still have that that ambition, like, well, I don't agree with this, I'm gonna fight it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't been completely programmed to just go with the flow. Kids
Or
do
you-
whatever the hell they want. Kids
or you
don't.
get angry. And you feel like this is, you get angry, or you say this doesn't make sense, it's not true, and you have a lot of internal conflicts that kids can't deal with that at that age. So you can't really. Isn't that a sad thing? We have certain areas in American history that we can't teach to our children.
Cannot talk about. How can you not talk about?
Right.
But if you just continue learning and instilling curiosity. I mean, I didn't start really studying history until 10 years ago. And I produced like public history events. I started doing that a couple years ago. So, I mean, I think people are really interested, and we just need to keep learning. So for me, I mean, it is a positive thing that if you get history out where people can experience it. And my God, there's like some fucking excellent documentaries out there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing too, though, it's like I take it upon myself to go further my education and my learning with the truth.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen until I went to college.
Yeah.
So you just think like all those years I was believing lies. And no one was ever like, oh, well, this is the truth. You know what I mean? As far as to push you to go get it, you have to go get it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So Roselle, what would you do if you was in 8th grade and the teacher was like, all right, class, we're gonna learn about slavery, the real shit. Now let's talk about the dogs. Right? How would you
I don't
feel?
know, man. I would have been looking crazy, man. I don't know.
That's
how I
what I'm
would've felt
saying,
about
right?
that. I would have been like, whoa.
And then talking about tarring and feathering you and stuff.
Right,
That's
yeah, I don't know,
Like,
man.
really?
Ooh.
Really? Y'all did that shit?
I'll be beating up every white kid that I see, and I'm not even a fighter like that.
That's what I'm saying. It would cause too much chaos. We wouldn't
Yeah,
get
that would
along
be
at all.
crazy.
So-
That would be crazy.
Just isn't that interesting that we would have to hide that? So that's why it goes to college.
Yeah.
So if they say,
I had a class of like sort of like special ed kids, and it was a Black history sort of film, but then this image, one of those images of somebody hanging from a tree popped up. It was like all hell broke loose. I mean, it was just, they could not, we could read stuff and they were okay with it, but that like visual, yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't think that I would have survived back in those days, because I definitely would have been one of those revolting ones.
yeah.
Nat Turner's little sister. I'm like, let's go now. It's time to go.
Mm-hmm. No, that's real. That's real. You know what's fucked up for me is when I went to the school, because I told you I went to a really like 90% white people school. Like 90% of the people were white. They used to do that whole Huck Finn shit, make you read out loud in class, the Huck
They
Finn book, and then it would get to the N-word.
I
and
have to do that too.
He'd be real excited to say it, and the teacher would be like, go ahead, we're reading out loud.
Oh
Say-
my God, I had no idea they still
Yes.
did that.
Make you read that book out loud, To Kill a Mockingbird. They have discussion.
All that shit.
And I'm like sitting there like the only Black kid in the whole class. Like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm albino. I got issues. Like they didn't even care. They didn't even care. They surpassed me, my feelings. It was like, go ahead. Yeah, I'm
I
serious.
had to
I'm
read Uncle Tom's Cabin when I was in 8th grade. And
okay. So there
Yeah.
you go. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like they make you read these
Yeah.
books out loud in class, and they're like, go ahead, say it.
It's just in the book.
Oh my God. I had no idea they were still teaching Huck Finn in school.
No, this is
No,
when
I
I
mean,
was growing up. These are people that are now voting for Trump now. This is my era, Generation X. This is how my peers grew up like that. They got to say nigga in English class. That's why they vote for Trump.
Yeah, especially when I look at, especially like millennials and stuff. Now I'm like, okay, my generation was supposed to be teaching these people that are young adults. And when I went to college, I mean, it was big. You were like really big on like multiculturalism and learning that you needed like you said, that there was a lot going on that you didn't know about. So I was like, what the fuck happened? Who became a teacher that's still doing this shit? I mean, yeah.
You're asking what happened? Go ahead.
I've had a couple friends quit teaching because they were getting scolded for not wanting to teach that curriculum, or for teaching more truth-based curriculum. Schools don't like that. They don't want you to step out of that box. They don't want you. You're gonna push a riot, a revolt, upheaval. Stick to the code, and they just quit. And this is recent.
Problem too is when it gets there was I got a real problem when it gets too politicized. Like there was the California State Assembly passed a law that the Armenian genocide needs to be taught in school. And I'm just like, okay, teachers need to make those decisions. And it's like,
What is that?
okay, huh? The Armenian genocide took place in it's considered to be the first genocide, which means of people just being wiped out based on their identity. And it was the Turks that did it to the Armenians. And so it was.
Wait a second. What era was this? Was this during
early 20th century?
Yeah, Ottoman, right? Empire. Yeah. This is recent. This is that.
It is. But I'm like, okay, you need to if you're looking at okay, we have an international population. There's kids in school whose families have been escaping genocide. So it's again, there's problems with teachers not being able to teach what's real, but I'm like, I don't want the fucking assembly deciding that either. I mean, teachers and families need to figure out which genocides and which slavery, they need to figure out how to do it, because there's a lot of fucked up shit in the world, and I don't want to say that anybody's is more important than anybody else. I mean, that's the, I don't like it when I hear people say oh my God, young people don't know enough about the Holocaust. There's been Holocausts in our lifetimes. There's Holocausts happening now. There's ethnic cleansing happening in Myanmar and in China. I mean, there's immigrants here, there's refuge. So who the fuck, it's who the fuck is going to say what's more important than other things,
It needs to be taken in context.
Go ahead.
They need to bring it in. They need to bring those subjects in as its relevance, in context of what's going on or whatever. But it doesn't need to.
You can't study every genocide. There's a shitload of people of Cambodian descent here in the U.S. that came here to escape Pol Pot. I mean, there's plenty of.
I'll tell you how you can fix that. So Roselle will agree with me too on this.
What?
Every time we have to learn something about history, it's the easiest way to feed it to us is to put it in a damn video game. Okay, I know about the Ottoman Empire because I play Battlefield. Okay, I know about what goes on in South America because I play Call of Duty. You just put it in the damn video game, and the kids will play it. And literally, they will not. They won't. It happens. Literally, in Battlefield, the Ottoman Empire is mentioned, and it is literally verbatim what happened in World War I. That is some intelligent.
But do you think that kids know that?
Yes, kids know that. They tell them it's a historical, factual game. They tell you when you're playing through the storyline, you're playing through history. So you literally learn about the Ottoman Empire and what happened to initiate World War One.
Maybe I should check out video games.
Me too. I guess I'm missing out on history.
It's crazy. Like I played that game and I'm like, wow, I know all the shit that happened now. Like, I know it firsthand.
Well, but it's even more important to understand, to have humility about history, and to understand that if you're doing something like that, you are only getting the beginning of something. You know,
but you are learning. Okay, so you go from kids that don't know shit about the Ottoman Empire to kid that can tell you, shit, this is how it started. I was on level 1. This dude shot this dude, and so
I need to kind of hear that from some people.
And then like it was in this country, and it was like at this time, at this date. They will tell you important dates and time, but through the context.
But knowing the dates of things isn't even really that.
No, but even like the actual like storyline that's happening, because they try to trace it to realism. So they'll be like, yeah, and did you know like this was going on, and I had to do this and that. Like, and that to me, you have Assassin's Creed Origins, right? That tells you all about Egypt.
As far as I'm concerned, kids should not be encouraged to be like, oh, did you know this? Did you know this? I'm more like, hey, you need to shut up and listen to me.
I know, but I think my point is it's a great tool for kids to have.
Yeah, I agree with them. They even have a game called like North versus South where you can play as the Confederates, and
that would be
yeah.
It's real,
no,
man.
No, I hear you. It'll
have the different generals. You can actually play with.
I hear
you. It's crazy.
Some ideas for holidays.
Every time. You never win. They have a cheat code or something. Nigga is the cheat code, and you can win.
I'm amazed at how much people learn from the Discovery Channel. Seriously, man. You have people telling you shit all the time that they watch. I'm just like, wow, you knew that. So
that's true. Discovery Channel does give you some good advice.
I'm a nerd, so I watch Discovery Channel and History Channel all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm like, I don't know why am I watching Ancient Aliens for 3 hours on Saturday, but
I learned that there was like 10 different types of aliens that we know. 10? How the fuck did we get 10 aliens?
There's more than that. Those are just the ones they know.
Yeah.
I learned that from Ancient Aliens too.
We know about 2 real aliens. These other aliens, where the fuck they come from?
There's thousands of them. I learned that.
There's thousands. They've only identified 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got like names and types and shapes and shit for them and everything.
I learned that from Men in Black.
Yeah.
Men in Black is some truth though, bro. Men in Black got some truth in there.
Okay.
That in the Matrix. I be watching both of them like, ooh,
Yeah.
Somebody right.
Yeah, that's real though. So, Anna, this podcast has been really cool.
It's been really fun, man.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever talked about aliens and video games, man.
Hey, it looks like when you have Spider and Trika, man, they get it popping, man. That's how it go.
Yeah, they do, huh?
This one was a good one. I gotta get
really
it.
good.
Sorry I was so late.
All good.
Yeah. Yes, very interesting. Very
Go
interesting.
ahead, Anna. I'm sorry. I'll stop being confused.
That's okay.
What you doing? Learning history on Call of Duty?
I'm not joking. They really are.
Yeah, he's serious on that.
Yeah,
I'm backing on that 100%.
That's pretty good too.
That's
You know what else is like that? Battlefield is like that too.
Battlefield is that's what I was talking about.
Oh,
Battlefield,
okay.
Yeah, that's the one where you learn about all the history. Battlefield 1.
But aren't they also teaching you how to kill people?
Yeah, but you're doing it through the context of the mission, which is historically based. So you're learning about what happened.
Hey, you know what? Even down to the weapons, they even get historical down to like you literally have to use like
a musket,
muskets. I don't know what other. They got a lot of different weapons on it that are like old school weapons,
it's
real
cool. You know, I don't know if you guys ever went on the. When I was in 6th grade, we got to go to a field trip on the ships, like the real giant old school like pirate ships and shit that docked in San Diego. We had San Diego. You don't have San Diego. San Diego. We went out there and got to go on those ships, and we spent the night on them in 6th grade, and we learned all about the ships and shit, right? Like the front and the back of the ship, and It was really cool. That's literally what they're doing in the game. They're having an experience where they're in the game or in the world, and they have to interact as if this is the world that they exist in order to obtain a higher level. So I think it's really smart. Very, very good stuff. EA. That EA Games is the guy that the company that makes it.
I'm just not a gamer.
Yeah, I'm a big time gamer. You know, Roselle.
I know.
I'm big time.
I kind of figured that out when
Yeah.
your Call of Duty breaks last podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm back on my A game though, Roselle.
We gotta get on it, man. We gotta get on it, man.
Get on it again. Yeah, we should. My headphones.
You know what I've been playing, man?
I
I've been
don't
on that
think we should do this
Nuketown.
in person. Oh God.
What's up? What's
I
up?
said I've been on that Nuketown, dude.
I have been. That's the dope one.
Yeah, that's the
updated
best one.
Yeah. I see you with your KDR.
Yep.
Let's go. We're gonna get on it.
Yeah, we got to. We're gonna do it.
Roselle did.
wait, what's up with this cooking stuff?
Roselle was up there like a spot 3, and I was like, "Fuck this nigga." Oh man. Oh, I love Call of Duty. Sorry, Anna. Sorry. Go ahead. Back on you.
Roselle, can you fill us in on that?
Oh, you talking about the squeeze? The squeeze?
Yeah.
Yes. He has a cooking show.
Age has a cooking show?
Rub in with
It's kind of more squeeze, but it's being produced by Duck Soup.
What's squeeze?
Squeeze is the chef.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay.
Okay. I think he was on the show. You saw the dude on the show?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's Squeeze.
Oh, okay. Wow. I had no idea.
I
Man,
want to go over to there, Roselle. One time, you got to pick me up so I can bring my MP and I'll make beats while you guys do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll record it live and all that. That'd be cool. And then he's got to feed me.
See, you know what? He's supposed to be coming this way on
Cool.
Friday, but see, I don't know if it's gonna happen the same way with all this COVID thing going on.
Damn it. All right.
That might have changed. I called her. She's supposed to call me back, and they're supposed to be doing something at Good Day Cafe, but we'll see if they'll still be able to do it.
For sure.
oh, I like that place. Good pancakes.
Mm-hmm. Good pancakes. So what?
And actually, the guy Squeeze used to work there. He was a chef there
that's what I was gonna ask.
when they were on Ambassador, or I don't know what street it was, some other street they were on. I think he said Ambassador or something.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know what street he said. I had to ask him again, but he was a chef there at one point.
Oh,
So
you need like a what are those things called? Where you flick them, the little things for the ADHD kids. So you flick them so that you have something
Oh,
to do.
fidget spinners, something like
Yeah,
that.
I need a
Yeah.
spinner. I'm using my lighter right now. If you can't tell, it keeps dropping. Over here, like, wow, flip it, do that shit. Yeah. So, that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been a long.
We're here. We are here. We are having like so much fun doing a show every week. See, we used to be once a month. Then we went to twice a month. Now we're every week.
Cool.
Moving on
Maybe-
up.
What do you guys? I mean, let me ask you this: what are you going to do in the next term? I call it season 3, season new, Biden era. When there's nothing new, like it's all boring. What are you going to do?
We've been doing.
what do you
for
necessarily
years.
mean? Wait, boring. What do you mean by boring exactly?
Have you seen Biden's like conferences? Those shit. That's just boring as fuck. He gets up
Yeah,
there.
I mean, dude.
Where's
I
the
mean, I
flag?
think I've had enough excitement with Trump, man. I
We,
think
we hardly
You miss it.
ever talk about Trump here. This is why we talk about global politics and history. We've been doing the show for 3 years.
I'm sorry, I bought his name up. Sorry.
That's okay. It's okay, man. It's okay.
I'm just.
And cuss words.
It is. It's a customer down here. Yeah.
It's just it gets so boring. I mean, it's one thing if it's a real conversation, but to me, it's
Mhm.
like I'm not interested in talking about how bad stuff is. That's boring. So yeah, no, we have time.
That's what I'm saying, though. So when you
Talk
think
more
that-
to Roselle than almost anybody I've ever had sex with, man. I mean, we've been talking for 3 years. So yeah, we do not run out of stuff. There is no worry about that.
No, I wasn't worried at all. I was just interested in what you thought about
All
that.
these countries we follow, man, we keep up with. We never. Okay, Bobby Wine, man, we follow Bobby Wine avidly, who's trying to be the president of Uganda, and then his convoy of cars was just attacked again and shot at. So, yeah,
It's
Ghana
going
or
down
Uganda?
over there.
he was a
Uganda
rapper.
or Ghana?
Huh?
Uganda or Ghana?
Uganda.
Uganda. Okay.
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, Bobby Wine, he's a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, look him up.
Got shot up in Uganda.
Yeah, he's been thrown in prison. He's been tortured. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and I am seriously hoping that he stays alive. He's known as the ghetto president.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, Uganda, Ethiopia, like your guys are scaring me. Like I have this guy that wants me to go on this African journey. Like, let's go to Africa and like go to all these great countries. And now you guys are saying like every country I might potentially go to, like might get kidnapped, shot at.
Is
Like,
it under
seriously, like,
civil
Do you think
unrest?
that it's perpetuating this negative aspect of like different countries in Africa? Because I hear it all the time from the news too. I'm not saying you, Anna. I'm saying in all the news that we get from Africa, it's always like this really like, man, it's really wild out there. It's the wild fucking West. Check it out. Not only
There's other stuff too.
They do that on
Zimbabwe-
purpose, though, right, Spider?
Hmm?
That's the
Zimbabwe is
purpose.
heading to having cannabis be their
That's the
biggest
purpose, right?
export.
you don't hear no nice news.
Medicinal
No,
cannabis.
they tell you the negative on purpose
Yeah.
because they can build this narrative in your head, then you'll never think that anything positive happens over there. But there's a lot of positive things that happen over there just as much. But
Oh,
it-
no, I know.
They will never bring that up. They'll never say anything like that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's what I'm saying. I feel
But I
like
know people that went to Africa and they love it in Africa. I'm trying to go to Africa, but everyone I've talked to that's
Which
either from
country?
there or has been there recently, they said they had no problems. They had a good ass time, and everybody's beautiful. They look like them, and it's different.
I agree. I was just saying. I think it's just interesting that they would. Oh, your thing's off.
You muted yourself, Trika.
You yourself, Trika.
Yeah, she did something weird. That's weird.
Yeah, I think it. Go ahead, Trika. Finish up. Oh, it's her internet.
Internet is jacked.
Yeah, I got you.
My Wi-Fi keeps going in and
Does
out.
anybody have? Okay, so tomorrow night is duck soup, everybody.
No,
No,
you guys haven't.
no,
Are you doing
no,
duck soup tomorrow?
Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty.
Oh, okay.
Saturdays, we got it in one day. Look, I got to go back to work. You know why I play Call of Duty? I work with the kids. The
Oh,
kids.
okay, that makes me feel safe.
So when I work with the kids, I got to get my. I'm done. Like the little
Oh my
team
God,
for about 50 minutes.
parents, get your kids out his class.
So it's time to play some Call of Duty. So yeah, it keeps me stable.
Keeps you sane.
Wednesdays are Call of Duty days, right, Roselle?
Oh, okay.
Saturdays,
Yes.
duck soup.
Saturdays are Duck Soup, guys. Saturdays
Oh,
are Duck
okay. So duck soup's not on Wednesdays anymore?
Soup. That was a special that we did
Oh, okay.
for what was it?
Thanksgiving.
Ambush and Thanksgiving. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Saturday.
No, it's good. Saturdays, and you guys are on Tuesdays and when?
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Yep.
You sound mad, Roselle. You mad?
Nah, I'm not mad at all, actually.
Oh, okay. He's like, I bought this nigga on, and he's just acting up.
I'm heated. I'm blowed.
Okay. Hey, when are we gonna get together and fix the DJ shit so you can do the DJ?
Whenever, I think I know how to do it.
Oh, good.
I
Good.
think I know how to do it. What I'm gonna have to do is when I go on to Duck Soup, we're gonna have to test it one day and then just let me come on as a host
Mhm.
and we'll try it and see how it sounds.
We'll do it. Roselle's gonna be our new in-house DJ, and he's gonna be in charge of all the DJ sounds, so I won't have to be there like late with the horns.
Mm.
Yeah, he's gonna do.
You were getting better. You were getting better.
I don't have to do it anymore. I can just sit there and talk, which is good. I'm good at that. So, Ro, you're gonna do the wiki and all that.
Good,
Great.
good.
Yep. So I'm sorry, Anna. What else is going on in the world?
Just but no, okay, everybody, we are about to sign off. Thank
Oh,
you so much to Spider and to Triga for being guests. Super
Thanks for
we've gone
having me.
ages without guests, and now we have two, which is very cool.
Yes.
Yes.
Come
me
back
know
anytime. I'll come back anytime.
Okay.
Right,
Cool.
if I
I'm
violated
sure I'll
any.
see everybody on Saturday.
oh,
Okay.
definitely. I'm gonna be on Saturday.
Cool.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Good.
And yeah, cool.
All
Hannah,
right.
thumbs up.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Okay, everybody. Have a
Yep.
good
All
night.
right, y'all.
Night,
Stay
everybody.
blessed. Stay amazing.
Yes.
Stay
Mhm.
safe.
Global
Peace.
History Podcast with
Global
Anna.
History Podcast.
Yeah.
Out.